just killed a man. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, oh, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all.
Absolutely ridiculous. There's no need for that at all.
No one knew that was coming.
That was Donald Trump started the show doing a rendition of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Beautiful and very fitting that we found it as well.
All right. So when you were telling Luke that,
yeah,
when you were
sorry, I see we've caught you off guard here.
Caught me off guard.
Here.
When you were telling Luke that you were putting his volume down, we were going to speak to him in a minute.
Yeah.
I saw you laughing to yourself.
Yeah.
About just playing the intro, so I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because I know something.
Oh, that's coming.
That's coming. Yeah. So I thought you were doing it a bit early.
Oh no, not to start.
But this actually did catch me off guard.
And it was extra stupid as well.
But you done the same thing with the election.
I did, aye. Which is basically this one. That was the one I had to laugh at.
But
ridiculousness.
Should we just get Luke on?
We should do. Hello, Luke. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
We are fantastic. Did you? How much did you hear of the song there before we started?
Oh yeah. No, that's good stuff. That's it's fun to watch all the humor coming out of it.
It's been pretty amazing to watch the whole time. When was it we had Luke on the podcast? Do you remember what?
It was just after the general election. I'm sure. No, it wasn't. It was yes. I mean, it was after the general election.
Yes,
but it was like the week after the week of hatred.
Mm-hmm.
That was the election. I don't know.
I think it was the week after because we'd done the American election special about a week before.
No, we done it after because we done it on the Saturday.
Right, cool. Should have probably thought about this before we started, but it's just what happens.
No. I think I was on afterwards because I remember enjoying being able to use colorful language because I wasn't a candidate anymore. I didn't have to worry about pissing anyone off.
Yes. But I'm sure it was after because. For that reason,
it was definitely after the election special.
Yes, but I'm saying it was after the election special.
Yes,
right. Okay, and the election special was the Saturday after because we were meant to do it on the Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, right?
That's fine.
So that's that conversation.
So since then, Luke, how have you been? How have you been, my friend?
You know what? It's normally there's about a 6 month to a year period between elections when people calm down. And not much happens, but it's been incredible. I've been going all over the country the best I can with COVID restrictions, talking to people that are running in 2022 for Congress or Senate races to try and get them set up and ready to go so, they know what they're doing beforehand.
Yeah.
It's been quite something. And then for myself and some other Democrats in the area, we had some death threats against the Proud Boys and the white supremacists. So
nice.
That was fun to deal with.
This seems to be an election where it became the most heated. Like, it gets heated in America from time to time. But this just became
it's been
insane.
Crazy.
Like, this is the first time they've ever had an attack on the Capitol.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been surreal. How did you feel watching that?
So that's where, I probably took it a little bit differently than most people. Me and my buddy, we decided that day we were going to make some homemade sausages. So we got everything ready, everything to go, and then it started, and we're like, all right, well, I guess we'll throw on the television and watch it while make homemade sausages in the kitchen. So it was a strange day all around.
So you were making sausages?
Yes.
Yeah, making sausages while watching the Capitol get stormed by a bunch of white supremacists.
So that must have been fun.
It was an odd day. I woke up the following day and thought, what the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the day of the symbolic sort of verification of the electoral college votes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
which is stupid that they tried to storm the Capitol, because the counting of the electoral college is just it's just kind of ceremonial thing. It has no effect on the election.
Yeah.
Trump seemed to delude everybody into thinking that Pence had some sort of power there. And I don't know whether he just doesn't understand the system, or whether he's purposely sort of relying on them not understanding. Surely, after 4 years as the president, he'd have been told that Mike Pence didn't have that power. You would think.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we are also dealing with the same person that has spent 4 years fighting against the truth and facts. So, Donald Trump has always thought that he just demands something and screams until he gets his way. That's what I was going to do. And, I hate Mike Pence, but at least Mike Pence is smart enough not to try something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was kind of upset that he didn't enact the 25th Amendment. But, of course, saying that, I don't know what that means. I don't fully understand what would happen if he did enact the 25th Amendment, whether that's a quick process or a long process, and whether that's better than impeachment or worse. It was just kind of a lot of options getting flung at everybody, including people that, like me, that were just interested but didn't really know anything.
I am interested to see if Luke understands what flung means.
Flung. Thrown. Flung means thrown.
Yeah. No, I got flung.
Okay, right.
I picked that up, yeah. No, so I'll go into a little bit more on the 25th Amendment.
Okay.
What happens is there's the labor secretary, the transportation secretary, the people in charge of the various departments in the government. They're what's referred to as the cabinet.
Yeah.
Well, the 25th Amendment, the vice president would have to send a letter to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and then get a majority vote of the cabinet to remove the president on the grounds of insanity, dereliction of duty, and anything of that sort. And then once it's a simple majority vote of the cabinet, if the cabinet agrees, then that's it. Secret Service goes in and they take him out of the Oval Office, and the vice president then assume the duties of the presidency after a swearing in.
So in that situation, would Trump still be allowed to stand in 2024? Would he still have Secret Service protection? Would he still have a pension, stuff like that?
He would lose all of that.
Oh, okay, right.
With the 25th Amendment.
So that was the argument that they were
And
using for the impeachment process. Is that if he's convicted...
He also loses it with the impeachment.
Right, okay. I thought it was a one or the other thing. Right. So it seems in that situation the 25th Amendment could have been quicker.
The 25th Amendment, quite frankly, is a very short process. And the thing is, we've never had that enacted in the United States. The only time that was close to that was Nixon in the 70s. Gerald Ford, he was going to enact the 25th Amendment, and that's when Nixon resigned.
Right, okay.
Right.
When he said, I'm about to get kicked out, I might as well leave on my own terms.
It's amazing to know that Donald Trump is doing worse than Nixon. He's doing like a fucking awful job. It's crazy, man.
What was it you didn't like about Nixon again, Stephen?
Oh, dude, everything. Yeah, that was all that stuff.
I love that you were like, aye, It's crazy. After all this time, Trump was even worse than Nixon.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because the people that were around Nixon, or even his family, have been coming out and saying, you know what, Nixon, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't this big of a piece of shit.
I don't even know what Nixon done. That's so.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just saying
Go
that.
ahead.
I'm just saying that's so like before my time. I got no idea.
So what Nixon did, and this is going to sound pretty funny. He
Does it
he
involve crack?
ordered. No, I wish it did. But that's Canada. That's
Okay.
that's just mayors in Canada that do crack. Speaking of which, weren't we going to have crack on the show? I forgot to get mine.
We'll have a crack.
Actually, talking of crack, we have a special segment set up for you, Luke. We said the last time it was like mostly just like Canadian politicians and stuff that get caught doing these things.
Yeah.
It turns out not quite. We found one just this year, and I have a little bit of a section of the show. Here we go.
Do. Let's sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here.
A new segment of the show, especially for Luke Bohm.
This is a piece of shit podcast. It really is.
So, I don't know if you know much about this, but Messina, Syracuse mayor, Timmy J. Currier, 55, was charged with 7th degree criminal possession of a controlled substance and failure to comply with a police officer. Currier was police chief in Messina for more than 2 decades before being elected mayor in 2014. He was arrested, and deputies tried to stop the car. Currier was driving at 12:25 p.m. Currier didn't pull over the car for about 1/3 of a mile and threw a gram of crack cocaine out the window during the chase. The deputy said. So that, yes, it was amazing.
Was he a Democrat or Republican?
I have no fucking idea. That would be good to find out as well. Doesn't say in the article.
They no say
No.
What state is he from?
It says it Messina.
What's his name?
Tim Currier.
Tim Currier.
So it says Messina is a village of about 11,000 people in St. Lawrence County on the US-Canada border.
He's a New York mayor, so I would guess Democrat.
No.
Nah. Up there it's Republican.
Okay.
That's unfortunately, yeah. If they're up there, then that's all Republicans. All the Democrats moved to New York City or got the fuck out of there.
Right. Well, that was a segment of the show.
Do. Let's sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here.
That was okay. A ridiculous Luke Bohm special there. So anytime Luke comes on, we'll do a little.
We'll find somebody else that's been on crack.
That'll be great.
So Nixon.
Oh yeah. Sorry, forgot we got on crack there. Totally forgot about Nixon.
Yeah.
That's
So let's crack on with this next topic. What? So, that was a good joke.
No, but so with Nixon, this is what's great. He kept a list of political enemies that once he was president, he would try to wreak vengeance on those enemies with his power of the presidency.
Jesus.
And through that, he hired or had a couple of Republican staffers break in to the Democratic National Committee's archives at the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C. and steal a bunch of sensitive information. It was basically espionage. And when it came out that Nixon is the one that ordered it, then it was at that time it was deemed so shameful that a president would keep a list of enemies and he would order someone to break in and steal files.
Mm-hmm. Ridiculous.
I feel like Trump was close to that.
Very, very
with the
similar.
Ukraine thing. That's pretty close. It's not exactly close, but it's like it's getting there. It's asking for a foreign power to give dirt on a political enemy. Like, it's not super far away, and yet nothing was said, really.
See, in my opinion, what Trump has done was way worse.
How so?
He tried to get a riot to go in and kill the vice president to overchange an election.
Oh, right, that bit. I thought you...
And then... No, I'm just talking in general. When it comes down to it, he is considerably worse than Nixon ever wanted to be.
Yeah, yeah. That was a...
I mean, I'm really not sure how it is in Scottish politics, but over here in America, it's kind of one of the perks of the job is to use your position to harass your enemy.
Yeah, we didn't really have that here. But we're sort of a bit civilised.
So it's a lot friendlier here.
I mean, obviously they're opposition, so there's about 3 or 4 different parties that sort of fight for power here, and they'll all sort of just they'll attack each other, but it'll be like passive aggressive. Mm-hmm. It'll be like, I increase funding for the NHS, which you wouldn't know about Labour. That sort of shit. It's like really.
It's really pathetic.
Yeah. There's nobody trying to cow each other here, which is I mean, it's quite boring, to be honest. Mm. We could do with some crack and some riots and just some fun, really. Mm-hmm. But no, America gets to keep on that. So we were speaking.
What the?
Sorry,
no, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Mine's just shite.
I was gonna say, what does it mean? What does it feel like to wake up and, or for the last few years, not think to yourself, man, what are our elected officials gonna fuck up today?
Well, we still think that.
I woke up this morning and I still thought, well, the white supremacists are just as bad as normal, and we have no health care, so nothing has really changed yet.
Well, we have health care, but we still have people fucking up. We still have the Conservatives in charge. We have our own Donald Trump.
Well, for instance, the COVID situation in here is much over here.
Yeah,
in the UK.
Actually, COVID. You think COVID's bad in America, and I've seen American news reports talking about how the UK's handling it well and stuff. We had almost 2,000 deaths yesterday, and there's been days where the US has had less. So it's kind of, we are doing fucking dreadful on the COVID front.
We are the worst country.
We are a piece of shit country right now. We are the worst country
for deaths
in terms of stuff. So yeah, well done. You're not the worst.
Jeez, yeah, no. I mean, I figured we were the worst. You guys got to stay safe over there.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've already had it. We're fine.
Yeah, we've had it already. We've all passed it on. And
we're fine for the next month. I think after a month, the immunity wears off, apparently. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to be dead in a month.
Good.
So after that, perhaps we'll be one to 2,000 a day. Mm-hmm. Speaking of COVID, people keep talking about how the COVID situation is going to get better under Biden. What are the plans for that? Because I've looked at some of the powers he's got for executive orders, and it doesn't seem like there's too much the president is able to do for COVID measures. I know he's changed the federal rules for wearing masks in sort of federal buildings and stuff, but what else can the president actually do?
Well, one of the things that's going to make it really nice is that the Democrats have control of the House, and then we have control of the Senate.
Yeah.
That's going to make it much easier because he can federalize, healthcare workers. It's kind of the same as deputizing someone into law enforcement. You can make them do things under, the guise and under the control of the government.
Okay.
To effectively get shit done. there's been talk about him federalizing healthcare workers and vaccine distribution,
Right.
to put 100 million doses in arms in the first 100 days.
Okay.
Which, if we do that, if we get the vaccine out, are you guys there?
Yeah,
we're
we're here, yeah.
Okay. Did I lose you?
No,
No?
No.
that seems fine.
Sorry, my phone got fucked up.
Okay.
No, so if we can put 100 million doses into arms in the next 3 months or so, then that's gonna really change how we do things.
Would that be both doses or just the one?
That'd be the first dose. The second dose would come in the following 80 days.
Right.
80
So-
days. Yeah, we're about the same time scale, which is kind of worrying because it's the Pfizer vaccine you've got as well. Do you have another vaccine? Or is it just Pfizer?
We also have Moderna.
Okay, yeah, that's what we're working with. We're working with Pfizer and Moderna as well. And the thing that's worrying me about that a little bit is the UK government is thinking that they could sort of switch doses.
I've seen that.
Give dose 1 of the Pfizer vaccine and then dose 2 of the Moderna, or vice versa. And people aren't entirely sure how that's going to work. We've got a virologist coming on soon who's going to talk about the vaccine, and that's some of the questions we're going to ask. But it seems quite worrying, especially there was an Israeli study released, and they suggested that timescale between the 2 doses is quite important, and it's looking like we're doing it 12 weeks, and if you're doing 80 days, that's around 80 days as well, I'm sure, 12 weeks. And so
They all have roughly the same guidelines. Sort of thing. It'll just
but the has been tested up to 27 days.
Right.
They don't know how good it is after that long. So it worries me that it's being left that long because we're not entirely sure how it's going to work. And if it doesn't give full immunity to the degree that they've stated, the 95%, we might not be finished yet. We might still be stuck in this for the next year. And as much as I'm a hermit, that sounds scary.
Yeah. More sitting in the fucking house doing nothing.
Doing podcasts all day.
Well, doing podcasts is fine, but I'm like DJing. I actually enjoy doing it. Haven't been able to do it since last January, so it's been a pain in the
I
ass.
suppose. So have you got any fears about that?
I honestly, my thought, I'm really waiting to see what happens with this new administration, because there's so much skepticism around the last asshole, around Trump, that no one really knew what to believe. Because even if it was one of the esteemed doctors that came out, then the question was, well, are they saying this because they were forced to by Trump, or I'm excited to see about a month where we're at, and there's still some question over here. Apparently, the Moderna vaccine is much stronger than the Pfizer, and they're questioning if people actually need both shots with the Moderna, which has just led to more case studies and people are being under more evaluation for it. Which, if they do find a way to do in just one dose, then that also speeds up the process as well.
Yeah. If that comes back to be true, and again, thank God we've got a virologist coming on, we could ask all these questions. That would be really good, because the 2 dose things sort of slowing everything down. I mean, it's nice to have a vaccine, and it's nice that people are getting protected, but if it's going to take 6 or 7 months to get everybody vaccinated, I mean, you're going to need it again in a few months after that. So it's going to be a never-ending sort of thing of constantly just jabbing people. You're never going to get away from it. Damn. So, what else do you know that Joe Biden's planning? I know he's signed a bunch of executive orders. Do you know much about what else is planned?
So right now they're trying to put it where student loans are getting paid off. You know, there's over here to go to university or go to college, it's incredibly expensive. There's rumors of him canceling up to $50,000 worth of student loan debt, which would take millions of people from being crippled with repayments to being able to actually make a fine living.
Would that include, so in a situation like that, does that include people that start going to college next that don't have any student loan yet?
Yeah, they would make the first 50,000 free.
Right. Okay. Right.
For
that
college.
makes sense.
So if you go to an in-state college where tuition is normally cheaper, and the entire process is only $40,000, then it's going to be paid for.
That's good.
That's awesome, eh?
Of course, in the UK and in Scotland at least, it's just free.
Mm-hmm. You do still get some paid courses and stuff, but most sort of general education is free, sort of thing. But you can buy like stupid, like weird, like extra curricular courses and stuff like that. But
yeah, but that's mostly for foreign immigrants. It tends to be folk that are not born here, or people that have already had. You're allowed three things, and then you need to start paying for it. Right. That's the general rule here. So you could go and get I don't know the names of the degrees, but you can go and get a minor one, and then a basic one, and then a
master's later,
a big chief one. Aye.
Big chief.
You can tell that I'm not very educated. That's how I know about degrees. But aye, that sounds good, because in the US you have to pay for everything, and it's really expensive. It seems medical insurance. People are worried about that, and over here, I keep saying people, but it's me. I keep hearing about stimulus checks, and over here, it seems like it's an unnecessary thing. But then you remember, they don't have healthcare. They just sort of exist until they need to do something, and then they pay £1 million, and then you're like, oh shit, yeah, they maybe need stimulus checks. So is there any updates on further stimulus checks?
Yeah, it sounds like the people are going to be normally getting another $1,400, which we've been having to fight with the far extreme left of the Democratic Party, because while Trump put out $600, a bunch of people were screaming that it needed to be $2,000. Well, Biden is going to issue another $1,400 to bring that total to $2,000. But the people on the very far left of the Democratic Party are saying, well, that's not $2,000, that's only $1,400. And, me and most moderate people are thinking, well, you dumb motherfucker, add $600 and $1,400.
Yeah, but the 600 wasn't put out by Biden, it was put out by Trump.
Exactly. They're saying that it needed to be 2,000 total. So instead of another 2,000, they're still complaining that the 600 wasn't enough. So Biden enacting 1,400 to try and bring it to the number that everyone thought it should be. Most economists are saying, okay, the wrong of the Trump administration is being corrected. And then the far left are saying that we want more.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult, because we can't get anything done when you have half of your party screaming at the other half because they can't count.
Yeah. So I'm kind of on the far left side, though. The issue that I have is that when they were arguing in the Georgia runoffs, they were saying that if they're elected to the Senate, they will fight for $2,000 checks. And that was after the $600 had been put out to to most of them. Okay, there was a lot of fuck-ups. But if they're saying 2,000 checks after the 600 is already put out, saying 1,400 plus 600 equals 2,000 is dishonest and disingenuous, in my view.
So the thing that I've been trying to pay attention to. I've been working on a ton of stuff since the Georgia, so I didn't pay quite attention to what they were saying. First off, let me be clear. I also think this needs to be retroactive.
Yeah.
I think that we need to do $2,000 a month since the start.
Okay.
It's my problem is that we are having to spend so much time arguing about this that nothing is getting done. We're not able to continue pushing forward because when I say the arguments are fierce, I mean that they're just sticking to it and not letting go.
Right.
So I agree that the 2000 was a little misleading, but at the end of the day, you gotta take the small victory in it ending up at 2000, and then to continue pushing forward. But right now, we're not pushing forward; we're just arguing with each other about semantics.
Okay. So in that situation, is the Democratic Party? So say that this was covered and that people accepted it and just moved on. Does the Democratic Party in general agree with $2,000 a month?
Yeah.
Okay, right. And I know unemployment benefits were changing. So at the beginning, I read that Joe Biden wanted $600 a month, and then it changed to $400 a month. Is that right?
So he wants $600 a month minimum, but they can't reverse the $300 a month that's already in place.
Okay.
So the answer is let's add another $400 on top of the $300 we have now, and that goes to $700 total.
Right.
So what he's advocating for is actually now, because of different circumstances, it's turned out $100 higher than even what Biden had wanted originally.
See, what keeps confusing me about that is because it's never explained. But I mean, I guess I'm not in the system, so I've got no idea. But it works totally different to us. Over here, it's the one thing, and it's a certain amount of money. Over there, they keep saying it's unemployment insurance, and then there's an added benefit on top of it of a certain amount of money. But no one ever seems to explain how much that is in total. They just always say what the extra added money is. So what are people living on right now if they're unemployed?
If they're unemployed, they're living on $300 a week.
Okay, damn, that's not a lot. No, that sounds like a lot.
No, and Biden wants to add another $400 to make that $700 a week.
Okay, right. Okay, that makes sense. Right, I see where I've got confused then.
That's £218
a week.
A week.
No health insurance. Oh, oh, that's dreadful. How are people surviving on that? That's fucking brutal.
Not well. I can tell you that.
I know there's been a lot of rent issues. There's also rent help. There's rental help, right? Is that right?
There's rental help, and there's also a freeze on evictions. You can't have your house foreclosed or kicked out of your apartment until I think September right now.
Okay.
And that's going to get extended as well if it's needed.
Damn. Right. So what is it you're looking forward to, hopefully, in the next 100 days? What is your main thing?
My main thing is they're trying to pass something called House Resolution 1, which is a bill that would it would up the unemployment benefits to $700 a month, $700 a week, and then it would do a bunch of things like over here we've got gerrymandering. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with that term.
Yeah, that's just a big gerrymandering thing's just happened over here, so we're aware.
Yeah. The new laws that are looking to pass would ban partisan gerrymandering, so one party can't decide what districts look like anymore.
Okay.
And that to me is huge because particularly here in Indiana, the Democrats can't win races because the districts are they're crazy. If you look up the congressional and the state legislature districts, It is just, it's unfair. You know, when you stretch a district an extra 60 miles to ensure that you squeak by with enough votes each election, you just can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Like that is unfair. That's an abuse of power. That's the one thing I'm really looking forward to, is getting rid of just incredibly badly drawn districts.
Yeah, that's just been announced here. So the Conservative Party here is adding a bunch of new seats in England and taking some away from Wales and Scotland. And they've said that the Tories would get an extra 16 seats based on this change, which is like a guaranteed win for them every election. And it's just the most disgusting thing that you could ever see. It's kind of mad that that's the way to steal power now, is by changing districts and sort of making democracy look like it's fair, but then shit on everybody's face.
Yeah, no, that's something that we've just got to get rid of. Is, you know, and what really burns me is that we're pretty much know where you're at. If a conservative party loses an election, then they blame it on the liberals for some sort of cheating. But when the conservatives actually cheat, then they say it was fair and we should have just tried hard.
Yeah. Yeah, they're quite brazen, aren't they? But
it's amazing what they.
On you go.
As I say, it's just amazing what they do and try and get away with.
Yeah. So I have a question and a possible massive criticism of Joe Biden, which happened very quickly. It happened within a day. Do you happen to know if there's any truth to the idea that Joe Biden will be recognising Juan Guaido as the Venezuelan president?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't looked up any of that, and I haven't heard it, so I couldn't comment on it.
Right. So I read this yesterday, and it was just one guy that said it, so it could be nonsense. But just the idea that Joe Biden's just faced an attempt at a coup by right-wingers, and then he might recognise an illegitimate coup against the Venezuelan president, just seems to me to be a bit short-sighted. And if that's what's happening, I don't know. I'd be curious to understand why he thinks that would be different to what he's just faced. Because it's right-wing people trying to shut down a government that was, according to the UN, was a legitimate democratic process, like his election. And he's agreeing to support, or at least recognise, somebody that's just said, oh no, I'm president. And I've got an issue with that.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to look into this now, because I can say I haven't heard anything of that.
Okay.
But, I mean, American history has got sketchy relations down South America anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so here's the problem. I want to say, you know, that's not true, but I also know how America is operated down there, and I can't, you know, say that without a doubt.
Yeah. As I say, it was just one guy, but it was just... But normally it wouldn't even shock me. It wouldn't cross my mind too much. But just the fact that Biden's had threats on his life and had a fucking guard of thousands of soldiers with guns having to protect his inauguration, just seems like it's a dodgy time to choose to recognise Juan Guaido. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, that'd be a horrible time to be doing that.
So that's pretty much my criticism. Do you hate Joe Biden for anything, Stephen?
Not really. The kissing the babies video, I wasn't a huge fan of that. But I think... Have you seen that, Luke? The video of Joe kissing babies and stuff like that? And it looks like mad creepy.
No, I haven't.
I'll send you that video, and it's scary actually.
I mean, it was cut the gear by right wingers.
I was edited
So
to
it
get
was like-
that, so
it was like
it does
purposely-
probably look a lot worse than it actually is, but yeah.
So we're
Dodgy.
hopefully going to get Joe Biden's cousin on at some point.
Have you emailed her?
Yeah, I've emailed her. Well, Facebooked her. Whether she tells me to fuck off or not is a different story. But she's Irish, so that would be cool if that happens.
That'd be awesome.
Then we can get all the juicy
So,
deets.
One of my favorite things to come from the far right this year was we've all seen that picture of Joe Biden smelling his little girl's hair.
Yeah.
That picture. So that was his granddaughter,
Right.
and she had told them that she got a new shampoo, and that her hair had smelled like fruit, strawberries or whatever. And he just simply obliged, not really thinking that that's going to become a target against him.
Yeah.
But that was his granddaughter at her urging.
That
And
is
then,
is-
a month later, he's doing. Sorry,
that is one of the clips in the video that I've seen. So yeah, I've fallen for that right away.
You're a fucking Trumpist. You're a total trumpet.
You got there in the end.
I got there, I fucked it. I didn't realise how disgusting. I might have said this in the last podcast actually. I never realised how disgusting Trump was, that he's sort of forced this idea that Joe Biden's mentally unfit to govern based on the fact that he sometimes stumbles his words. Now, if you don't know that Joe Biden has a stammer, it does look like he's struggling.
I didn't know that myself.
But once you know that he's got a stammer, you're like, wow, you're a right piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You've known that he's got a stammer, and you've obviously worked with some sort of debater to try and get him flustered in order to fuck up his words. And now you're just like, how could he be the president? He can't even speak properly. That is the lowest of the fucking low.
Yeah, and try having like your neighbors and shit tell you like, oh, Joe has dementia, he doesn't even know how to talk. It's like, he's got a fucking disability, you asshole.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that that's like a common thing to say. Dementia Joe. It's such a shitty. I mean, if you're going to criticise a guy, criticise his policies. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they can find a million things that they if they genuinely dislike him, they could find a million things that they dislike policy wise. But to go for the disability, that's just right wingers all over.
Yeah, and that's how these people are.
Yeah, I'm just lost in.
I mean,
sorry, on you go,
I
Joe.
mean, let's not forget as well that Donald Trump made fun of a reporter by the name of Megyn Kelly because women have periods.
Yeah.
And he poked fun at her for it.
Did he know
Like,
also
what kind of
take the piss at a disabled reporter? He done a hand thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that again? Who was that?
I don't remember the reporter, but yeah, no, this guy had cerebral palsy,
Mm-hmm.
and Donald Trump decided, hey, I'm just gonna wake up and be a dick to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking. There's so many things that you're sort of in awe at the fact that he had the gall to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking president, and he was just a fucking dickhead.
Well, you just realise that day to day, he's been allowed to do that for for many, many years because he's like a millionaire and nobody really questions him or anything. So when he gets into power, of course he's going to do that shit.
But see, this is the thing, right? I'm sure I said this in either the last podcast with Luke or it was in the election special. But he had the fucking chance to go out like a rock star.
Yeah.
He could, when he saw that he was losing, everybody knew about the Red Mirage thing that was going to happen. And when he saw that he was losing, he could have made a fucking statement and said, yeah, I just came here to be the president to prove to Obama that I could do it. I never wanted the job, never had any interest in the job, and I didn't want to win this. I lost on purpose. Drop the mic, walk out like a fucking king, and his dumbass supporters would have loved every second of it. But he got fucking greedy, and he's fucked everything. He's got a bunch of lawyers coming after his ass. He is very possibly going to get convicted by the Senate in the next, I don't know, couple of weeks or whatever. He's lost PGA Tours money for these golf clubs and shit. He's lost a shit ton of money. He's lost a shit ton of political power. He's lost a bunch of his fucking QAnon psychopath fucking fan base.
Yeah, and he looks much more stupid than he did before.
Oh my god, he is... the fucking stupidity, man. He could have went out like a king. He could have been a rock star. And his greed fucked him.
He also, here's the other thing, too. He could have, all these executive orders that he loved to tout and say, he could do whatever he wanted. He could have, if he wanted to go out, not like a dickhead, he could have been like, you know what? Everyone in the country gets 10 grand, $10,000. There you go. And then fucks off to a golf course for the rest of his life.
And he could have pardoned Joe Exotic.
He did.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Oh, did you know? I thought he was doing that. Did he pardon Little Wayne, though?
He did pardon Little Wayne.
Fucking hell.
And Kodak Black.
Another dickhead as well.
Yeah. And a bunch of fucking fraudsters. Like a bunch of dickheads that were like, oh, is that tax money? Oh, no. No, it's no tax money. It's my money. That's whose money it is. Just a bunch of they cunts.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Imagine.
No, he did pardon anyone, someone who was wrongly convicted or anything of that sort. No. He's fucking pardoning Little Wayne.
Like, imagine to his fans how cool he would have been if he had went on a rampage, done all that, I don't care about the presidency, I just done this to fuck with Obama, right? He could have, if he had played that and then pardoned Joe Exotic, Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Could you imagine how much love he would have got for his fan base if he had done all that and then just fucking strutted out like the big man? But no, he's fucked it. His greed has killed him, and I'm so fucking glad. It couldn't have happened to a bigger piece of shit. I've got
now, I would like to see Boris Johnson get fucked too.
Yeah, but I mean everybody that's right wing.
Basically anybody.
Just throw them on the fucking sea.
Well, I think we're about done there. You got anything else you want to add, Craig?
Do you think he's going to get convicted? Or do you think he's going to fucking weasel away again?
So, I don't... Here is my long shot theory on all of it. I think what we're going to see is we're going to... he's going to get charged for war crimes by the UN. And he's going to get convicted in the Senate where he doesn't get Secret Service protection. And then he's fucked.
Yeah.
They'll haul his ass off to Belgium. He'll go sit in a Belgian jail and just fucking die the sad, pathetic man that he is.
I'm almost masturbating at the thought of that. I would fucking love to see that. That's actually more arousing to me than seeing the Secret Service pick him up and just drag him out like a big suitcase. Just to see him. He's been a dick his entire life. He's been a racist, fucking mutant fuck his entire life. And just to see his own greed fuck him so hard that he just ends up dying in a prison. Oh, man, my life would be complete. I'd fucking jizz all over myself. Swear to God, man.
So we end
now here's are you ready for one other thing I just want to throw out there?
I'm all out of jizz. I'm sorry.
You guys have seen the Proud Boys and the white supremacist groups and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll love this. Those groups right now are starting to support Biden because Trump, as they put it, Trump was weak and frail, and he incited his supporters to storm the Capitol, and then they said that he hid in the White House like a pussy, and that he wasn't willing to do any of that. And then one group was like, yeah, Biden knew that we were going to try and storm the Capitol again, and he still went out there and gave a speech, and now he's doing all this. So all the right-wingers are looking at Biden standing up there like a leader and going, well, shit, this guy's pretty cool too.
Jesus. I never thought it would turn into... I did see that a lot.
Who would have thought it? The Proud Boys are stupid. Unbelievable.
It's weird, eh? I had seen that they'd been starting to call Trump weak, but I never knew it had went to the point where they were starting to support Biden. I thought they would have just found some other knuckle-dragging fuckhead.
Alex Jones or something like that. I just think
Alex Jones disavowed QAnon's conspiracy theorists because they keep saying things that aren't true.
Oh, fuck off.
That's what Alex Jones said. He's fucking said it with his own face.
Well, it's also good. Well, because someone asked me this morning. It's like, why the fuck are the Proud Boys getting me and the lunatics? I'm like, because to these people, they never cared about policy.
Mm-hmm.
They never cared about someone putting together a robust healthcare plan for the next 20 years. They could give a fuck about that. They could give a fuck about trade. They don't care. They're just in it for the emotional response. And quite frankly, I think they just like driving around in their trucks with their guns.
I think
and if
yeah.
I was gonna say they're all living in their little shacks with no money, and here comes Biden out there looking like a badass, handing out $100 bills like he's everyone's favorite grandpa at Christmas. They could give a shit less about policy. They're looking at that going, oh, this guy's pretty cool. Which here's the terrifying thing: if Democrats could learn to organize that type of energy, we'd never lose another election. Yeah. But at some point, we're gonna fuck it up. That's just who we are.
Cool.
Oh man,
pretty much sums up.
Excellent, man. Excellent. Well, look, thanks for coming on, man. It's been much appreciated.
We'll see you in 4 years.
Hey, man, you guys ever need the American perspective on something that we screw up, then you let me know. I'll love to come back on.
Certainly will, man. Certainly will. Okay.
That was our foreign correspondent, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, hey, you guys take care. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem, man.
Bye.
Thanks very much.